Shalom, Israel. I'm preaching also of 500. Yahweh Ya Allah out of One West headquarters. Shalom Yahweh Shim Yah Shabrak Thumb to the Akim. Shalom Yahweh Shema Thumb Shim Yah Shah to all Akwafim. All right. As you already know, it is the law class.
That's right.
Law class. All right. We do not play with the law here. Right. Testing. Test 1 2 1 2. All right, it is the law class, right? Y'all already know what time it is. Get your weapons of warfare, man. Get your precept books out. Get your swords out. All right, get your apocryphas out. If you don't have a 1611, all right, let's do this. All right, big shout out to Priest and also 500 Officer Shaw for allowing me again to present the 7th segment of this series. All right. Big shout out to him. All right. Very fine out of one who has had the pleasure of seeing me being raised up in this truth.
That's right.
All right. Give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 7, Baba Shaw. All right. We're going to give you a prime example of what it is not to be a God-fearing woman, right? And what it is to be a God-fearing woman, right? We say God for teaching purposes, all right? Those of you who are seasoned in the truth know the Most High's name, okay? Please like, share, and subscribe, all right? Any recommendations as to who would you like me to present in this series will be greatly appreciated, okay? I have given you a handful of sisters in this series. All right. I've gotten a few requests so far. Okay. Please sign the sign-in sheet. All right. So that you can get credited for your attendance.
Right.
All right. Whenever you're ready, sir.
God, Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee.
Now this is a chapter. This Proverbs chapter 7, right? It's a mother, right, pleading with her son, right, to keep her words of wisdom, right, and lay up the commandments, right. The mother of course would be, the spirit of the Lord, right, as he instructs Israel to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right. They will save your life. Okay, read on, sir.
God, verse 2. Keep my commandments.
Keep what?
Keep my commandments.
Read on.
And live.
And do what?
And live.
See, if you keep the Most High law, statutes, and commandments, right, you won't die.
Right.
All right. Big ups to Hebrew Academy.
Oh, that's all right. Right.
Bring on the trials, man, because the first thing we learned is we are not allowed to die.
Right.
All right. You are not allowed to die in this truth. Okay. When you stop being productive, when you're idle in this truth, right? Something that you don't want to be, right? You don't want to be idle in the truth. That is when you begin to die. All right. You must do the Lord's work. All right. The valley of dry bones is very huge and very wide. Read on, sir.
God, and my law as the apple of thine eye.
As the apple of thine eye. Keep the Most High law, statutes, and commandments as the apple of thine eye. Right? Keep it always first, above your slave, above your family. All right. Read on.
Verse 3. Bind them upon thy fingers. Write them upon the table of thine heart.
Bind them upon thy fingers, right? Meaning keep this. This is how I bind them amongst my fingers. All right. I keep my face in these scriptures.
Right.
All right. I put the Most High first, right? And write them upon the table of thine heart, right here. This is the heart according to the scriptures.
Right.
All right. And when you do that, you'll have like multiple precept books. All right. Read on.
Verse 4. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister.
The Most High, this is the wisdom. This is the book of the law.
Right.
All right. Read on.
And call understanding thy kinswoman.
Thy kinswoman. All right. Read on.
Verse 5. That they may keep thee from the strange woman.
From a what?
From the strange woman.
From the strange woman. And that strange woman is the example we're going to bring out, all right, who is not a God-fearing woman. All right. She does not have a particular name. However, I like to refer her as the Jezebel spirit. Okay. This is the masculine spirit that a non-God-fearing woman possesses. Okay. She is a brawling woman. Read on, sir.
From the stranger which flattereth with her words.
From the stranger that flattereth with her words, right? And not necessarily does it have to be a heathen, right? It can be you, black woman,
right?
Hispanic woman, Native Indian woman. Read on.
Verse 6. For at the window of my house.
For at the what?
For at the window of my house.
Read on.
I look through my casement.
So you ever be in the hood and you see that nosy neighbor always out the window?
Right.
This is a prime example right here. Read on.
Verse 7. And beheld among the simple ones.
Among the what?
The simple ones.
And if you don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, right, you are a simpleton.
Right.
All right. You are among the simple ones. Read on.
I discern among the youths.
Among the what?
The youths.
Yeah. That's where it all starts, sir. Right there at your youth. All right. I remember the term young, dumb, and full of cum. Right. Among the youths. Right. Now the word here, right, discern, that is a gift of the spirit, right? The gift of the most high power, right? You must have that. You must have that in this truth. All right. Read on.
God. A young man void of understanding.
He has no understanding because he's a simpleton.
Right.
All right. The scriptures say, study to show thyself approved unto God. Right. Rightly dividing the word of truth. Right.
Right.
Read on, sir.
God. Verse 8. Passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house.
So here's this simpleton, right? Going through the street, right? In the hood, right? Looking for this, what the scriptures described as a strange woman.
Right.
Right. If you're a God-fearing woman, like the many examples I've brought out thus far, right? You won't be a strange woman.
Right.
Right. Read on.
And he went the way to her house.
Read on, sir.
9th verse. In the twilight.
And the what?
In the twilight.
The freaks come out at night. Read on.
In the evening. In the black and dark night.
Damn right. That's what they call it now, creeping.
Right.
They be creeping.
Right.
You can't creep during the day.
God.
Right. Read on.
Verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot.
Now stop right there. So can we get the definition of that word, Baba Kushor?
God.
Let's lock you. Hey, Sister Adrian Johnson, Shalom Yahweh Shemon Alathumba Hashem Yahushai, right? BX stand up, all right?
harlot, a prostitute, a woman who has many casual sexual encounters or relationships.
A woman who has many sexual encounters or relationships, right? A harlot is known as a whore.
Right.
Okay, and we already know, right, that a harlot, right, commits adultery, right? It is a very disgusting demon to have, right? That sexual deviancy is not accepted, right? It's frowned upon here in the school, here in our nation, all right, and all throughout the scriptures, all right. Officer Yashawam Ya Allah, big ups, Officer Yashawam Ya Allah, all right. Shalom Yahabashim Yasharakathum. Big ups to you. Adrian Johnson, no sweat. Read about Judith and the Apocrypha. You got it. All right. I'll bring that out, Lord willing, next class. Okay. We're all tuned in, locked in for the Lord's only Passover, right, in Cocoa Beach, Florida. All right. So I'll put that on my to-do list, the water. Read on, sir.
God.
Verse
10 again. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtle of heart.
And subtle or heart. All right, now here's a description of her spirit. Read on, sir.
God. Verse 11. She is loud and stubborn.
She's ratchet. All right, read on.
Her feet abide not in her house.
And that is the place of a God-fearing woman, man, in her household.
Right.
Okay, read on.
Verse 12. Now she is without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner.
Creeping, man. See who she can get between her thighs, man. She's without. All right. She lives for the moment. Read on.
Salaki, if I may.
Come on, sir.
I have a precept.
Come on with it.
For the verse that you read up above about the brother wandering in the streets looking for a harlot. This
Right.
is Ecclesiasticus chapter 8. Salaki, Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 7. The scripture also goes into harlots and adultery and whatnot. It says, "Look not round about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof." This is talking about looking for women when you read the scripture.
Come.
Women, Salakia.
The water, sir. Big ups to you. All right. This proves, right, that it's precept upon precept, line upon line,
Right.
here a little, there a little. All right. This book does not lie, man. Read on, sir.
God. Verse 13, Salakia. So she caught him and kissed him.
She what?
And so she caught him and kissed him.
Hey, man, Salakia. Don't let no harlot kiss you, man. All right. Read on.
And with an impudent face said unto him, verse 14, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows.
Peace offerings, right? Peace offerings. Till this day, right? You can just imagine what a peace offering is. All right. Read on, sir.
God, verse 15. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. Verse 16. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt.
Now, this sister here, she out there looking for something, right?
Right.
She out there looking for something, right? And she premeditated this, man. This is like her regular.
Right.
All right. She makes her bed. She makes her bed for her victims.
Right.
Right. Read on.
Verse 7. Oh, I'm sorry. Verse 17. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon.
Yeah.
Verse 18. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning.
All right. Now we all know that love is an action word. Right. What's really going on here in the sexual deviancy,
Right.
right, is lust.
Right.
Right. She wants her and this simpleton, right, to take their fill of lust until the morning. Read on.
God. Let us solace ourselves with loves.
With loves. All right. All types of sexual deviancy.
Right.
Okay. Read on.
Verse 19. For the good man is not at home.
For the who?
For the good man is not at home.
Nah, man, this woman right here, man, as I brought out in the last segment, right? Both the adulterer and the adulteress get put to death.
God.
Right? So this woman here is a married woman. That's what it means. For the good man is not at home. The
Right.
good man would be the head of the house, right? Which would be the husband, her lord, right? And she's out there as a harlot,
Right.
right? Trying to commit adultery in her sexual deviancy.
Right.
Read on.
He is gone a long journey.
Hey, so he went out on a trip, right? Wherever it was long. Read on.
Verse 20. He hath taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed.
So she already knows the schedule, right? I think they call it the itinerary.
Right.
Right. He left. He's gonna come back at such and such time. So she has that amount of time to fill her sexual deviancy. Right. Read on.
Verse 21. With her much fair speech, she caused him to yield.
There you go. So he fed into it, right? He fell into the demon, right? So you have one demon in this woman, right? And that demon must have saw a demon in this simpleton,
Right.
right? And he yielded, meaning he submitted, right? Meaning he was tearing fire. Read on.
With the flattering of her lips, she forced him.
She did what?
She forced him.
Man, can't if you're man, listen. Read on, sir.
God. Verse 22. He goeth after her straightway.
He ain't look to the left. He ain't look to the right. He just went full speed ahead. Just jumped right out the window, right, into this wickedness of adultery. Read on.
As an ox goeth to the slaughter.
As a what?
As an ox goeth to the slaughter.
Man, my children at home for the first time, right, said they wanted to witness the slaughter of the lambs.
Mm.
All right. So when I read this, that's the first thing that comes to mind, man.
Right.
Right. Read on.
Or as a fool to the correction of the stocks.
Keep reading, sir.
Verse 23. Come on. Till a dart strike him through his liver.
Till a what?
Till a dart strike him through his liver.
Man, and now let's wait a second there, sir. Like that dart could be an STD. Okay. It could be AIDS. All right. It could be whatever this sexual deviant woman, right, can pass him. Yes, sir.
If I may, that dart could be the husband coming home and finding him in the bed with his woman, him getting his gun and having a bullet straight into his brain.
That's right. That's right. Big ups also Parataza.
Damn right.
Right. He brought this out yesterday. Right. How many brothers have died over a woman?
Right.
Okay. This is it right here.
Right.
Okay.
Very serious.
Read on, sir.
God. As a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life.
Right. Like when you try to trap a bird, right? I like to use the example of falconry,
Mm.
right? In order for you to be a falconer, right, you have to catch a hawk, right, or an eagle, okay, and then you have to make it submit, make it come to you, eat off your hand.
Right.
You know, in this case, it's the life of the bird, right? Read on.
Verse 25, Salakia. Verse 24. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children,
Oh, you what?
O ye children,
Read on.
and attend to the words of my mouth.
That's why you must keep the law, statutes, and commandments,
Right.
man. All right, keep your face in the Proverbs, man. In the book of Leviticus, keep your face in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Okay, that is hearkening to the words of the Most High's mouth.
Right.
Okay, for this is wisdom. The scriptures say you must call it your sister, right, or your kinswoman, right. Read on.
Verse 25. Let not thy heart decline to her ways.
Let not thy what?
Let not thy heart decline to her ways.
It's like, can I get that? When thou comes, serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, bro,
God.
for sure. All right, that is a very heavy precept right there. Right, let not thy heart decline to her ways. Right, let not thine heart decline to her ways. Right, when you come to serve the Lord, you can read it when you got it.
God. Keep on your up.
Go not astray in her paths, right? Don't feed into the temptation. Right? You have to be strong. You have to remember the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
You have to remember your oath. Okay. Doesn't matter how bad that sister look. All right. There's a story behind each and every one of them.
Right.
Okay. And according to this this story here, right? This is a strange woman. So a strange woman, right, is a woman that doesn't believe in the Most High. Read on, sir.
God. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son.
My what?
My son.
Black man.
My son.
Hispanic man.
My son.
Native Indian man.
My son.
Read on.
If thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare for these harlots, man. They will throw the box at you like no tomorrow. Right? You have some women out there that get turned on by a married man. All right. Get turned on because some of them I think we call them freaks, right? That's how strong that demon is in them. Right? Read on.
Prepare thy soul for temptation. Verse 2. Set thy heart aright.
Set thy what?
Set thy heart aright.
Set thy heart aright. How do you set thy heart aright, man? You shed yourself, man. Right. You keep it grounded, 10 toes down, right here on these scriptures, man. Now you can drop that, sir. Any more on that?
God.
Read on, sir.
And constantly endure.
And do what?
And constantly endure.
That's right, man. The more you endure, you won't go into the ways of her path,
right?
Meaning into destruction, into sin, right? Into sexual deviancy. Okay, we can drop that, sir. Let's go back to Proverbs chapter 7, verse 25. You can read it when you got it, sir.
God. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 25. Let not thine heart decline to her ways.
Read on.
Go not astray in her paths.
You got to stay focused, man. It's life and death out here. All right. You have to set thy mind aright and constantly fight your flesh. Right. Constantly endure. Right. Yahushua was tempted. Yahushua kept his mind all right. And he kept enduring. Right. What's your excuse, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man?
Right.
All right. Read on, sir.
God. Verse 26. For she have cast out many wounded.
She has what?
Cast out many wounded.
What does it mean when you're cast down? Right? She cast down many wounded, man. She got a lot of brothers killed,
Right.
right? She got a lot of brothers hurt, right? Probably some damn heathens too. Read on.
God. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Verse 27. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death.
Her house is the way to hell, right? Going down to the chambers of death. Right? We all know that hell is a condition. Right? You don't want to feed into temptation and find yourself in hell where you got the I think they call it the clap, right? The clap, right? That's the drip, right? Whatever other disgusting diseases is out there, right? Those are your darts to your liver, right? We can drop that. Y'all get the picture, right? No God-fearing woman should have this spirit on her. All right, give me the book of Ecclesiasticus. Right, Bob Shaw. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25. It's lucky. Bear with me, Israel. Get there with you, sir.
God.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 15.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter.
Salakia, chapter 25, verse 15.
God. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 15. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy.
Now, here's a metaphor for you. Read on.
Verse 1, Salakia, verse 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman.
And this strange woman, right, is a wicked woman. All right. The scripture said, I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. Right. So this good man that you are, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, right? When you go out on a long journey, right? If this woman you have possesses this spirit, man, you have to depart from her.
Right.
Okay. You don't want a woman like this. All right. Read on, sir.
God, verse 17. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face.
Changes her what?
Her face.
God, man, that's the first thing people look at when you know with the opposite sex.
Right.
All right. Read on.
And darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth.
Like sackcloth. Sackcloth is what we wore in mourning.
Right.
Okay. The wickedness of a woman changes her face, I mean her whole spirit, her whole attitude. All right, as you can see at the story we brought out about the simpleton and the harlot, right? Her whole countenance change, like sackcloth. Read on.
Verse 18. Her husband.
Her what?
Her husband.
Her simpleton.
Her husband.
Her husband, her Lord, her Adawan. Read on.
Shall sit among his neighbors.
Among his neighbors, among his you already know what neighbors is. All right. Read on.
and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly.
Shall sigh bitterly. So picture you, right, being with your neighbors, and your neighbors is that nosy neighbor that was out the window, right? And you hear this report about your rib, about your woman, right? Read on.
Verse 19. Or wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman.
Read that again, sir.
God. Or wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman.
There's no shame in her game, man.
Right.
She don't fear the Lord.
God.
Read on.
Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her.
And the wages of sin is death.
Right.
All right. The adulterer and the adulteress get put to death. All right. Constantly endure this, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. All right. And for you sisters out there, man, take this as an example of what not to be.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 20. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man.
To a what?
To a quiet man.
Yeah, don't be one of them rowdy types, man. All right. Practice the horse bit.
Right.
Around your woman, around your neighbors. Okay. And the tongue is life and death. All right. Read on.
Verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
And desire her not for pleasure, man. All right. You commit adultery. We brought that out also. All right. Whosoever looks at a woman, right, to lust after her, committeth adultery. Right. The scripture states, stumble not at the beauty of a woman.
Right.
Right. Don't fall for that, man. Beauty fades.
Right.
Right. And desire her not for pleasure. Pleasure, don't lust after her. Don't look at a sister, right? One by far, it's hard to tell whether a woman is married or not.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you ask her, right, 9 times out of 10, she probably would be telling the truth, right? But she would deny even being married or having a man. All right. Don't desire to blow her back out, right? Barakatah Yahweh Shah for the 1-year rule.
Damn right.
Okay, it is there to save your life.
Right.
Okay. Read on, sir.
Verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
All right. That's very deep there, sir. Salaki, can you give me the definition of impudence, Salaki?
God.
A woman, right? Verse 22 states a woman, right? If she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach, right?
God. Impudence. The quality of being impudent. Impertinence. Salakia. Let me give some more definitions of this.
Right. A lot of sisters, they rather be their husband's headache than their peace. All right. They won't fatten his bones. They want to stress him out and run out the mouth. All right.
It's best if I just get impudent.
Come on, sir.
Salakia. Impudent.
All right.
Okay, Khan, here go. Impudent. Not showing due respect for another person. Impertinent. Brazen. Shameless.
Shame what?
Shameless.
Like I said earlier, man, ain't no shame in her game, man. And this strange woman ain't got no respect, right? And no shame in her game for the good man who went on a long journey.
Right.
All right. You can drop that, sir. You can read on.
God. Verse 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage.
Abateth the courage, right? The courage to be by her man.
Right.
Okay, the courage to be virtuous. All right, the courage to shamai washaquat. All right, listen and sit down.
Right.
Stop running your mouth. Right, read on.
Slakia. Maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart.
And a wounded what?
Heart.
Don't nobody don't no man want to have a wounded heart when it comes down to his woman, man. Right? Read on.
God. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress.
And this what?
In distress.
Man, a God-fearing woman, right, takes care of her household.
Right.
Does not shame it when the good man goes on a long journey. All right. She takes care and loves. She's a helpmeet.
Right.
A helpmeet, man. If your husband's out there slaving 8, 12, 16, 18 hours a day, right? The last thing he wants to come home to is a wicked woman, man.
Right.
All right. Shemai washaquat, man. Read on.
Maketh weak hands and feeble knees.
I remember my boxing coach told me that, man. He said women weaken knees, man.
Right.
All right. We want peace when we go home, man.
Right.
What Jay-Z said, some nice clean drawers, some nice clean socks. Man, how hard is that, man?
Right.
How hard is that, man? Read on.
God. Salakia. Verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin.
Of the woman what?
Became the beginning of sin.
Now that's talking about Eve, man.
Right.
Okay. The sin was disobedience, man. Don't nobody want a disobedient woman.
Right.
All right. Or a husband. Okay.
Right.
Disobedience, man. She was deceived.
Right.
Right. For being naive.
Right.
Right. That's the spirit of a non-God-fearing woman, man. That's the spirit of a harlot, of a strange woman, man. You don't want to be that. Read on.
And through her, we all die.
And through her, we what?
All die.
Yeah, you're going to die. You're going to get that dart straight to your liver.
Right.
All right? You must constantly endure and set thy mind all right, man. The woman is a representation of her head.
Right.
Don't forget that. Read on.
Verse 25. Give the water no passage.
This is very deep. Salak, it's from the top, Baba Kishore.
Give the water no passage.
Read on.
Neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad.
Man. Flee from that wicked woman, man.
Right.
All right, whether she be a harlot. Man, I was always taught that if a woman's throwing a box at you, there's something wrong there, man. There is something wrong. All right. We have to go back to the old ways of time, man. Where you go and ask that woman's father for her hand in marriage.
That's right.
You give a dowry.
Right.
All right. Read on.
Verse 26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh.
Do what?
Cut her off from thy flesh.
Man, if you have a let me tell you, man, the submission is the strength of a God-fearing woman, man.
That's right.
All right. A God-fearing woman is very submissive, man. Verse 26 says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, right? So if she don't want to, be of the same yoke, right? Of the same spirit, she want to be a strange woman, right? She want to be a harlot, a Jezebel, right? And instead of a daughter of Zion, instead of a virtuous woman, right? The scripture says, cut her off from thy flesh.
Right.
Right? You drop her like a bad habit.
That's right.
All right. And give her a bill of divorce.
Right.
Okay. And let her go.
Right.
Kick rock, skedaddle. Right? To the left. Right? We can drop that, sir.
God.
Give me Give me this is another example, right? Give me the book of First Kings, Baba Kashaw.
Go on.
First Kings chapter 3, verse 16. All right, let me get there with you. All right. Hey, Dorcas, your side. All right. And Sister Dorcas, Shalom Yahweh Shemar Alathan by Hashem Yahushai. All right. All right. Big ups to you all the way from Louisiana. Louisiana, stay in the building, man. Big ups to Louisiana.
That's right.
All right. Sister Al Athab. Oh, Shalakia. Sister Tamika Shanta, right? Shalom Yahweh Shemar Alathan by Hashem Yahushai. All right. Big ups to you. All right. Young man Brian BX, stand up.
That's
All right.
right.
12 tribes in the building. All right. Big ups to all you brothers and sisters chiming in, man. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right. As I mentioned earlier, drop in the comment section who else would you like for me to bring out during the series. All right. Big ups to my daughter Deborah, man.
That's right.
All right. Lord be with her, man. All right. Let me get there with you, sir. First Kings chapter 3, verse 16. You can read it when you got it.
God. First Kings chapter 3, verse 16. Then came there two women.
Then came what?
Then came there two women.
Two women, right? Now Baba Kashaw, pay attention, right, to this story here we're about to read. Right? This is a very deep story here, right? Very deep lesson here. Read on.
That were harlots.
That were what?
Harlots.
Man, there goes some more darts to your liver right there. Right? Read on.
Unto the king.
Unto who?
The king.
Now this is Solomon here. Solomon is king at this time.
Right.
Right? Read on.
And stood before him.
So these two harlots, right? These two women, right? Stood before King Solomon. Read on.
Verse 17. And the one woman said, O my Lord.
Oh my king. Read on.
I and this woman dwell in one house.
In one house. So you got two harlots in one house, right? Read on.
And I was delivered of a child with her in the house.
So both these harlots, right, live in one house, and one of them gave birth, right? That's what it means when we read, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. So one of the harlots gave birth while the other harlot was in the house, right? Read on.
Verse 18. And it came to pass the third day after that I was delivered, that this woman was also delivered also.
Meaning that after the third day after she gave birth, right, the other woman, the other harlot, also gave birth, right? And this is what happens in that nasty realm of being a whore. Okay, the condom will break, right? You get pregnant, you get whatever STDs out there, right? I think also Haza, big up to also of 5,000, prison also 5,000, also Haza.
That's
right. When he brought out the super gonorrhea, it's out here. All right, super gonorrhea. Okay. So you get pregnant, you don't know who the father is. Right. Read on.
And we were together.
Read on, sir.
There was no stranger with us in the house.
Meaning anyone they didn't know, or any Johns, what they call them, John, they call them tricks. Right. Read on.
Save we two in the house.
Only them two are in the house, right? And they gave birth 3 days apart. Right. Read on.
Verse 19. and this woman's child died in the night.
So the second woman, right, who gave birth 3 days after the first woman, right, died. Right, read on.
Because she overlaid it.
Meaning she put too many blankets over the child, right? So she suffocated her child.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 20. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me.
She did what?
And took my son from beside me.
So the second woman whose child had died stole the first woman's the first harlot's child, right, from beside her, right, at midnight. Then I say the freaks come out at night. Read on.
While thine handmaid slept.
Read on, sir.
And laid it in her bosom,
Mm.
and laid her dead child in my bosom.
So her handmaid would be her help, right? Like the midwife, right? So she took her dead child, right, and put it in her midwife's arms, right?
Right.
While the midwife was asleep,
God.
right? And then took her dead son, right, her dead child, and put it in the first harlot's bed or arms, right? It says bosom,
Right.
right? Read on.
Verse 21. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck,
meaning to breastfeed her son,
behold, it was dead.
it was what?
Dead.
It was dead, man. Right? Read on.
But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son.
It was not what?
My son.
So this grieving mother, right? This grieving harlot, this grieving woman, right? Guess she assessed the situation and realized that wasn't her child, that was in her bosom.
Right.
Right. Read on.
Which I did bear.
Read on, sir.
Verse 22. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son.
But the what?
But the living is my son.
Read on.
And the dead is thy son.
So this is the thief, right? This is the other the harlot who swapped out the babies, right? Claiming that the living child, right, the living son is her baby. Read on.
And this said, No, but the dead is thy son.
But the what?
But the dead is thy son.
Read on.
And the living is my son.
Read on, sir.
Thus they spake before the king.
So they're arguing in front of King Solomon about whose child is whose.
Right.
Right. Read on.
Verse 23. Then said the king, the one saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living.
So King Solomon reiterates, right, for time's sake, right, what he just heard.
Right.
Right. Read on.
Verse 24. And the king said, Bring me a sword.
Bring me a what?
Sword.
There you go. King Solomon went and requested a sword.
Right.
Right. Read on.
And they brought a sword before the king.
So the servants, right, they brought the sword to the king. Read on.
Verse 25. And the king said, Divide the living child in two.
Divide what?
The living child in two.
So King Solomon calls for a sword, right? And he orders for them to cut the baby in half, the
Right.
living child, the living son,
Right.
right, of these two harlots who claim that the living child is their own child,
Right.
right? He orders them to cut the baby in half, right,
Right.
down the middle.
Right.
Read on.
And give half to the one.
And give half to who?
The one.
And read on.
And the other half, Salakia, and the half to the other.
And the half to the other. So since they both claim, right? These whores, right? These two disgusting whores, right? Claim that baby that's alive is their son. King Solomon said, cut it in half, cut the baby in half, give one to her and one half to her. Read on.
Verse 26. Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king.
So the real mother, right? The real mother of this child speaks. Read on.
For her bowels yearn upon her son.
For her what?
For her bowels yearn upon her son.
Read on.
And said, O my Lord,
Oh my king. Read on.
give her the living child.
Give what?
Give her the living child.
And that is something that a real mother would say, right? To avoid her child being hurt,
Right.
right? She said, give this disgusting harlot, this disgusting lying harlot the child,
Right.
so that the king does not cut the baby in two. Read on.
And it, Salakia, and in no wise slay it.
And no wise harm the child. Don't kill the child. She's pleading with King Solomon not to do this.
Right.
Read on.
But the other said,
But the who?
but the other said,
So the other harlot, right, who committed the crime of stealing a child, right, said what?
let it be neither mine or thine, but divide it.
But do what?
Divide it.
But divided. Isn't that something a wicked woman would say?
Right.
Right. So even though the actual mother, right, the first harlot, right, even though she's in harlot, right, she's a whore, right, she didn't want her child being hurt.
Right.
But the second whore, right, said what?
But divide it.
But divided, meaning she didn't care.
Right.
Her baby already died,
Come on.
and misery loves company.
Right.
Right. So she was all for the king saying divide it and give her one half and give the actual mother the other half of this baby. Right. A Brandy Rincon, right? Shalom Yahweh Shemar ala Thun by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, big ups to you. Right. Read on.
Verse 27. Then the king answered and said, give her the living child.
Give who?
Give her the living child.
Read on.
And in no wise slay it.
And no wise slay it, right? Read on.
She is the mother thereof.
So here you go. King Solomon discerned
Right.
who the mother was, who the real mother of this son, of this baby, right, was, right? Because a mother, right, would not harm her child.
Right.
Right. Read on.
Verse 28. And all Israel.
And all what?
Israel.
All Yasharala
heard of the judgment which the king had judged.
Read on.
And they feared the king.
And they did what?
Feared the king.
Read on.
For they saw that the wisdom of the Most High was in him to do judgments.
To do what?
Judgments.
King Solomon, right? He prayed.
Right.
He prayed for wisdom.
Right.
That's all he wanted, man.
Right.
Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Scriptures say, hearken unto my words. Keep my commandments. All right. And you would dodge these darts to your liver.
Right.
You will avoid these type of women. Right. You will get you, the Lord will throw you something. The Lord will throw you a virtuous, God-fearing woman.
Right.
Right. No God-fearing woman, right, has the spirit of these harlots here. Okay. And I believe this is the root of the family court system. This whole chapter right here is the origin of the family court system here in captivity, right? This is what it was founded on. Okay. You can drop that, sir. Give me the book of Luke, Bob. Sure.
Con.
The book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 38.
Con. Luke chapter 10, verse 38. Now it came to pass, as they went, that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha,
A certain what?
a certain woman named Martha,
Now, this sister Martha, right, was the sister of Mary, right? Mary of Bethany. Okay, write that down in your notes, right? Don't confuse her for the other Mary, right? This is Martha, and she has a sister named Mary, Mary of Bethany. Read on, sir.
received him into her house.
Read on.
Verse 39. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Yahushai's feet.
And if you're a God-fearing woman, man, you're supposed to adore your Adawan as if he was Yahweh, man. You're supposed to stay at that man's feet, man.
Right.
All right. That doesn't mean you're a slave. Okay. You have to curb the carnal mind. All right. Set your mind all right. All right. Your husband is your head. He is your protector. All right. You are his helpmeet. You know, when women don't know their place, right, or their job description, they wind up being harlots.
Right.
They wind up being dragons. Okay, Jezebels. All right, read on, sir.
And heard his word.
And did what?
And heard his word.
That's another thing, man. These sisters that that they have that masculine spirit, right? They don't hear they man.
Right.
They don't respect none that comes out out of his mouth. Read on.
Come on. Verse 40. But Martha was cumbered about much serving.
Was what?
Cumbered about much serving.
Read on.
And came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister have left me to serve alone?
All right, so for the record, right, these two sisters, one of them went up to Yahushua, right? They were both what's that word? They were both working, right? They were both pretty occupied, right? And one of the sisters, as we read in the previous precept, sat at Yahushua's feet, right? She stopped what she was doing and sat down next to him at his feet. And the sister Martha went to Yahushua and gave grievance because she was occupied with her work, right? Read on.
Bid her, therefore, that she help me.
So now the sister Martha is pleading with Yahushua that he send Mary to go and help her, right? To get up away from him and help her with their work. Read on.
Verse 41. And Yahushua answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things.
Okay, who's reading here?
Salakia.
Who's speaking here, sir?
Yahushua.
Yahushua. Right, read on.
Verse 22. Salakia. Verse 42. Salakia. But one thing is needful, and Mary have chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her.
And that one good part, right, was that she sat at Yahushua's feet to hear him teach. All right. Big ups to you if you're a sister in the truth, right, and come through those doors, right. And do your works, right. You feed your brothers in the truth, right. You braid hair, right. You help clean up the school,
right.
Whatever it is, you uphold your reputation, right, as being a reflection of your Lord, of your husband. Okay. You raise up children. You work 3 jobs, 2 jobs, right? But you come in here through the hell in this captivity and you stay grounded in the scriptures. All right. Big ups to you.
Damn right.
All right. We can drop that. All right. Give me First Corinthians. Right. Gonna stay in the New Testament. Me First Corinthians chapter 11. Salakia. Bear with me, Israel. Salakia. Me First Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3.
Con. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. Salakia. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
That's our king, man. All right. Who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ.
Right.
Right. The head of every man is Yahweh Shai. Read on.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Is the what?
The man.
Is the man. All right. Don't lean on your own understanding. Right. Don't possess that masculine spirit.
Right.
All right. The head of every woman is the man. Right. As she's being raised, father. Right.
Right.
Not that's the nature of things. It's the father.
Right.
Right. If the father is absent, right, it is usually the yes, sir.
Maybe the brothers protecting them.
Maybe the brothers, right? That is a fact. Sometimes the ama, right, the mom, okay, or it can be a stepfather,
Right.
okay. And when the damsel grows up, right, you pay off that dowry, right, and that, and you marry that man the minute you spread your legs, right, that is marriage, right. Your man, your husband is responsible for. He's your head.
Right.
Okay, read on.
And Salakia. And the head of Yahweh Shai Mashiach is the Most High.
And the head of Christ is Yahweh, right? Okay. Was that a question or a comment?
So, like, you talking about this verse?
On the comment section?
On the chat?
Con.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a question or a comment?
Salakia, if I may address about her name to let her know that you're talking to her.
Sister Adrian Johnson, is that a comment or a question? All right, let me get that. Love your wife as your wife as yourself.
Con.
All right. That I'm the water. Sister Johnson, Adrian Johnson. Right. I believe that's a comment, right? Where you stated, "I am so glad that Yahweh forgives because men, whether men of God or not, shows no mercy for women." All right, we're gonna break that down for you, sis. All right, read what you got, sir.
You want me to get that scripture you called out?
Come. Husband, love your wives. All right.
Keep on, y'all. What's up?
All right, I'm gonna read verse 4. All right, we're at 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 4. Every man, Salakia. I'm gonna drop that Israel, Salakia. Give me the book of 1 Timothy, right? As the outer one
I got it.
Read on, sir.
This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25.
That's right.
Husbands, love your wives.
Husbands do what?
Love your wives.
Read on.
Even as Christ also loved the church.
Even as what?
Even as Christ also loved the church.
Most High in Christ. The sister Adrian Johnson stated that's a comment. All right, sis, we watch what we say here, right? Can you read that precept again, sir?
Husbands, love your wives.
Husbands, love your wives. All right. If you're a man of the Lord, right? This is a law, man. This is a commandment, man.
Right.
All right. You must love your wives. Read on.
God. And gave himself for it.
As Yahushua loved the church and gave himself for it.
Right.
All right. He gave himself for Israel. He gave up his life. All right. There is no greater thing. All right. So husbands, love your wife enough to die for them. Okay. You must love your wife as yourself. Right. No God-fearing man possesses that spirit. All right.
And ISUPK, this is the only place. You understand? ISUPK is the only place where women is loved. You understand?
That's correct.
Not like them fake Israelite churches or them Christian churches. You understand? I don't give a damn about sisters. Here in ISUPK, under Commander General Yohana, we love our sisters.
Damn right. All right. We love our sisters. Love is an action word.
Right.
Okay. All right. You must, the woman is the weaker vessel.
Right.
Sister Adrian Johnson. All right. I recommend you stay locked in.
Right.
Okay. Work on that Hebrew name. All right. Get 10 toes down in this truth. All right. Study to show thyself approved. All right. Because men, whether of God or not, shows no mercy for women. Right? The men of the Lord, right, love their wives, right, as themselves, right? Because we understand that the woman is the weaker vessel, right? There is a certain protocol a woman, a God-fearing woman must follow, right? One is keep silence in the churches.
Right.
Okay. And if she wants to learn something, to ask her head at home, her head meaning her husband. All right. And if they're not God fearing, man, they ain't no better than a harlot.
Right.
All right. They're a simpleton. All right. Drop that. Give me 1 Timothy, Baba Kishore. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. All right.
Go on.
Lucky.
First Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence.
Let the what?
Let the woman learn in silence.
There you go.
With all subjection.
With also what?
Subjection.
Read on.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
But I suffer not a woman to teach.
Nor to use usurp authority over the man.
Nor to absorb authority over the man. Read on.
But to be in silence.
But to what?
But to be in silence.
Shemai washakwat. All right, listen and sit down. Okay. That right there is the root of the beginning,
right,
of understanding, man.
God.
You can't learn this and grasp this if you're running your mouth.
Right.
All right. Or if you think that you can go against the nature of God, right, of the Most High, right, and be a brawler. That's that masculine spirit. All right. Be over your man. Okay. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. All right. And the Most High does not suffer a woman to teach, man. A woman can't teach this.
Right.
All right. It is not her place. It is not her job. All right. Nor is it for a woman to have authority over a man. All right. She's the weaker vessel. What you gonna have authority of? All right. But to be in silence, man. Being in silence is a beautiful thing on a woman, man.
Right.
Okay. No one wants to say, hey, what's that word? A dragon. Dragon spit fire, man. All right. You don't want to come home to a woman yapping, throwing all types of fire. We're already in hell. How much fire you gonna give this man?
Right.
You know? Drop that. All right. Give me the book of Ecclesiasticus. Right? Salakia, Ecclesiastes. Right? Salakia. Ecclesiasticus 7:26.
Ecclesiasticus.
I mean Ecclesiastes 7:26.
Go on.
Bear with me, Israel. Chapter 7, verse 26.
Got it.
You can read it when you got it, Bo. Sure.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. Salakia.
Hey, Salak, it says, La'am, you did not offend. You Salak, Sister Adrian Johnson says, I am a work in progress. I'm constantly learning and growing. If I offended the men in the school, I apologize. La said you Tawab.
Right.
All right, you are Tawab. No offense taken. If a brother or sister offend you, man, you take them to counsel.
Right.
Okay, counsel is glorious. You did not offend. Says that the water for the participation.
Right. That's
all right.
right.
All the akim and wakafim in the chat. All right. This is what I like, man.
Right.
Give me some work, man. Give me some work, Israel. Ask some questions, man. Put it on me, man. I'm here for you, Israel. This is the oath I took. All right. Salakia, this is the oath we took as priests and prophets of the Lord. Okay. All right.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman.
Now, what's more, Salakia? Once you're dead, you're gone. All right. The scripture says, and I find more bitter than death the woman. All right. Read on.
Whose heart is snares.
Whose heart is what?
Snares.
Read on.
And nets.
Now, what is a snare, man? A snare is a trap.
Right.
All right. If you're a harlot, you out here trying to trap niggas, man.
Right.
Salakia, you trying to trap the so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Read on.
And nets in her hands as bands.
And her what?
In her hands as bands.
Read on.
Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her.
You hear that? Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. This is setting your mind all right. All right. This is preparing your soul for temptation. All right. And constantly enduring. Read it again from the top, Baba Kishore.
God, verse 26. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets.
Her heart, meaning her mind, man. It's all wickedness up here, man. She's trying to get over on the man, right? This is a child support precept right here.
Damn right.
Okay. Many of you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian brothers out there can relate to this.
Right.
All right. Stay away from them harlots. All right. Read on.
In her hands as bands.